So please, take the stage for the open mic. Thank you.
Thank you. Whenever I see a dead skunk in the middle of the road, I think of my father. I know. It is not what you think. He didn't have bad body odor which can peel the glaze off a clay pot. Although his Pepe Le Pew infidelities caused my mother to divorce him, I left a melodious stink on my family which lasted for years. No, I have happy dead skunk memories. Back to the time my father picked me up from the Albuquerque airport, or perhaps he drove me back from the art gallery in Santa Fe because he was a potter. In any event, we were driving along this desert highway along this tall mountain. We passed a dead skunk in the middle of the road. I mean, that dead skunk was perfectly lined up from head to tail with a stripe down the middle of the road. It was as if the road had a stripe, skunk, stripe, and kept going without missing a stripe. I gagged on the odor, turned to my father and said, "Hey, Dad, what are the odds of that? That dead skunk is perfectly lined up with a stripe down the middle of the road." And my father turned to me and said, "I guess that skunk gave us all to improve highway safety." My visits to my father in Albuquerque increased in frequency with the years. When you know your father's going to die, you can bury the hatchet without burying the hatchet in his head. During one visit, his stepdaughter, her husband, and the two small children were moving into a new house, and they asked my father and I to help set up the bed in the master bedroom. Now, there are 3 reasons why I felt uncomfortable assembling a bed with my father. S-E-X. Sex. S is for screwdriver. Because we're assembling this bed, and we have to put the slats into place beneath the mattress, and we're passing my Swiss Army knife back and forth as we're screwing the nuts and bolts. And we're shouting to one another, "Is it screwed in tight on your side?" "No." "Is it screwed in tight on yours?" Screw is a word I feel uncomfortable using around my father in any context. E is for entrance. Because when you are assembling a bed for a young couple, you naturally think about their entrance into various body orifices. Thinking about sex around my father is something I feel uncomfortable about. It's like watching porn together. And X is for ex-wife, my mother, who, when she returned from a trip to her mother in Texas, came home, sniffed the air, and said, "Trash always leaves a trail." It's like a scent that goes from the bedroom to the bathroom. There's been another woman in my house. My father and I never talked about the divorce. So there they are, S-E-X. And I'm griping and complaining that I'm wasting half of my Saturday assembling this bed with my father, thinking thoughts I do not want to think. And then a thought occurred to me. When was the last time you assembled anything with your father? My parents divorced when I was 6, and I never had an opportunity to assemble anything with my father. Not a kite, nor a bike. Not a doghouse or a birdhouse. This was it. I realized that this moment was very special, that I would never have this opportunity again to spend quality time with my father. So celebrate it. Celebrate the small moments, the in-between moments, the moments you choose to ignore or that embarrass you. Because when your loved ones are gone, it will be these small moments you celebrate and remember. My father died of prostate cancer 3 years later. And as sad and painful as his loss is to me, I smile whenever I see a dead skunk not in the middle of the road. I say, as if my father sat beside me, "That dead skunk's a little too far over to the left. And that dead skunk's a little too far over to the right. That dead skunk is across the road instead of lined up the stripes down the middle." Now, I'm not going to pick up a dead skunk along the side of the road and put it down the middle just to end my search. And I'm not going to run over a skunk at the precise moment it crosses the middle of the road. No, I'm going to keep searching. One day, on that highway to heaven, I'm going to find that dead skunk with a stripe lined down the middle of the road, and I'm going to celebrate, look up to heaven and say, "Hey, Dad, what are the odds of that?" Thank you.
All right.
And my name is Andre Lamont Wilson, and I have an upcoming show at the Marsh Theater in San Francisco. Please see me for good details. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lamont. That was amazing.